So excited that you could join us for our special grandparents tour. And this is the first of 3 tours that we're going to be having. And just for grandparents and their children. My name is Tricia, and I'm one of the tour guides. And I'd like to introduce the rest of our educators that are joining us today.
My name is Marilyn.
Hi, I'm Corey.
Hi, my name's Kiana.
Also, we're going to ask you to do a few different things today. Let's practice some of them. Can you show me your jazz hands? Wonderful. Can you give me a thumbs up? Great. Can you make a silly face? Can you kiss your brain? Wow, you are so good at this. All right, if you're ready to get started, why don't you give me another silly face? Oh, great. So we here are coming to you from the Clyfford Still Museum in Denver. We have a picture here to show you of what our building looks like. Has anyone been here before? Oh, good. Our museum is filled with many paintings like this on the inside, and some of them are really big. But our museum is special because it is all the paintings and art of one person, and his name is Clyfford Still. Can you imagine if you had all your art that you made your whole life and you had it displayed in a museum? I think that would be really cool. If you think that would be fun to have a museum about all your art you made, put your finger on your nose. Well, this is a picture of what Clyfford Still looked like. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him today. He grew up on farms and he helped his parents with the animals and to make the crops. But as a young boy, he started to get interested in probably about the same age as some of you, making art. His mom taught him to play the piano and he started drawing and painting. As he got older, Clyfford Still got bored of the way he was taught how to do art. He painted pictures of people, of the outdoors, lots of paintings about trains, and he was ready to do something completely different. So you know what he did? He invented a whole new way to paint. Clyfford Still decided to paint about things that he felt instead of things that he saw. So instead of people and landscapes and trains, he started painting lots of bright colors, lines, and shapes. Are any of you artists? Are any of your grandparents artists? If you are an artist, share in the chat box about the type of art that you like to do. Maybe you like to draw some things, people and things you see, or maybe you like to make imaginary creatures and places that you can dream about. Or maybe you like to make pictures full of colors, lines, and shapes, just like Clyfford. Well, we have a lot of things planned today. We're going to be playing some games to move about our bodies. We're going to be looking at some of Clyfford Still's art and make some art of our own. All the things we're going to do is going to be about our theme today, fall and the changing seasons. Have you noticed things outside becoming different as it becomes fall? Show me a thumbs up if you have. If maybe you just do some fun things in the fall. It's different for everybody. Sometimes we might get a pumpkin. We might drink some different drinks or some hot drinks that we might not have normally. Sometimes we might see the leaves falling on the trees or ads from different kinds of foods. We asked you to type into the chat box some things that you do in the fall time. If you haven't done that already, you can type it in now. Okay, so just like seasons are always changing, Clifford Still changed the way he made art. He started one way, like we already said, with people and landscapes, and then he moved on to colors and shapes. But did you know that he also changed the way he made art later in his life? We have an exhibit at the museum right now about Clifford Still's later paintings. As he got older, he moved from a busy city to the countryside. There he spent time with his family, he took lots of photos, and he went on lots of car rides. And he started painting in new ways. Some of these ways that he did was he used new colors. He left a lot of blank spaces on his canvas. And we're going to be talking about some of these paintings in just a little bit. But that is how he changed as his art progressed later in his life. So like I said, this tour is just for grandparents and grandchildren. Grandparents are so special in our lives. We like to do special things with them. They teach us new things and they give us so much love. Our grandparents might live in the same house of us, or they might live in a different house. They might live in the same state, or they might be far away. Maybe we get to see them often. Sometimes we see them on special occasions and on holidays. And sometimes we have a special name for our grandparents. For example, I call my grandma Mom. If you have a special name for your grandmother or grandfather, you go ahead and type it in the box now. So we have Saba, Nana, Nama, or is it maybe it's Nana? Well, we asked you to bring a special photo or an object that reminds you of your grandparents today. Now, if you don't have something, that's okay. You can still describe something to us. But we're going to show you a couple of the things we brought, and then we'll want to hear from you. I have a picture here of my grandmother, which I called Mom. And this is my daughter, which would be her great granddaughter. And what I remember about my grandmother is we used to go there every Sunday for Sunday dinners, and she would cook for us. Marilyn, did you want to share something?
Sure. I have a necklace that I wear, and it belonged to my grandmother. And it was given to me when I was 16, and I've worn it every day since. I always have it on. I never take it off. So it's very precious to me because I was very close with her. She lived with us, so we were very close together.
Thank you. Who wants to share something they brought? Raise your hand if you'd like to share.
I can share, Trisha, while people are thinking about it.
Okay, go ahead, Corey.
So I have this little sculpture that my grandmother made. She was an artist and she made a lot of sculptures, but mostly paintings. And it's really special to be able to have lots of things that she made in my house and in my family member's house.
Oh, thank you, Corey. Saba, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, here is a photograph of a special occasion we had this summer with Eden going at a dude ranch on a horseback outing.
Oh,
And
fun.
this is her brother Emmett too, but we had a great time and it's a special memory.
Lovely.
Oh, so how does that make you feel when you see your picture?
I think they're talking to Emmett, Eden.
Eden, how does that make you feel when you see the picture that your Saba showed?
It makes me feel happy.
Aw, that looks like so much fun. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share?
Sophia would like to share.
Can you unmute yourself, Sophia, so we can hear you?
I have a picture of when me and my grandma.
Oh, what are you doing in the picture?
We're making this thing, but you take tortilla, you put Nutella in it, and then you add bananas and you roll it up. And then
Oh,
you
that
eat it.
sounds delicious.
Wow,
love
that
the
sounds
frame.
like that'd be
Beautiful.
fun to do.
It's a very beautiful frame you've got your photograph in with your names.
Yeah, did you make that frame?
No.
Oh, well, thanks for sharing.
Like Drake has hand up to share out too.
Yeah, unmute yourself, Drake, so we can hear you.
Okay, you can talk now. Can you talk now?
I have these rocks. Wait.
Oh, you got some rocks. And
Rocks.
and tell me about your rocks.
Grandma gave me them.
Oh, and where did they come from?
I don't know. The beach.
Oh, the beach. So do you go to the beach with your grandma?
No, but I go to the beach with my mom and dad.
Oh, that's fun.
I go to the beach with my mom and dad and grandma when and grandpa when he was there. My mom it was there. My mom's grandma and grandpa's.
He's gotten to go with his other grandparents, but not me.
Okay, well, maybe sometime. Well, thank you, Drake, for sharing. Okay, I think that was everyone, wasn't it? All right, so let's look at some art together. If you are ready to see some of Clifford Still's artwork, show me some jazz hands. All right, I'm going to turn it over to my friend Marilyn now.
Hello again. My name is Marilyn. Remember when we told you about our museum, all the art is by one person, Clifford Still, and he made a lot of different kinds of art. We're going to explore a few of those pieces and also have a little peek into one of the galleries in our museum. One of the special and interesting things about the art is that there are no right or wrong answers about it. Clifford Still didn't title any of his paintings. He wanted people to look and feel and think whatever they wanted when they saw his artwork. And so he didn't put any titles on to tell us what to think about it. And that means we can have a great conversation, share our ideas and our thoughts about it, and we can all be right. So it's terrific. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see famous artwork, I don't really think about the artist's family. I'm just usually looking at the art. So I thought it would be fun to kind of look at Clifford Still's family, especially his grandparents. We know he spent a lot of time with them when he was growing up. And here's a bit of art he made of them. Ah, there they are. So you can see one of these is a painting, one is a drawing. The painting is of Clifford Still's grandmother, Mary, and the sketch, the drawing, is of his grandfather, John. Both of these are grandparents on his dad's side. He was 22 years old when he made these drawings and paintings. I think it's fun to look at them because it's so fun to think about how they were feeling when he was painting them or drawing them. What do you think? Do you think they look happy or sad, serious or funny? What do you think they're doing? Any ideas? Any thoughts? You can put them in the chat also if you have any ideas about it. It looks to me like his grandfather, John, is reading a book. Do you all ever read books with your grandparents? Sometimes, yes. And I like looking at this portrait of the grandmother as well. I think she looks kind of serious, but there's something of a little smile in her face. So it's kind of fun to see her. When I look at these pictures, I think that Clifford's grandparents look wise. Do you know what I mean when I say wise? Wise means to be smart in a special kind of way. You know, like your grandparents have learned many things over their lifetime. We all learn things all the time, and so life teaches us lessons. Your grandparents probably help you and they're wise with you. They give you advice, maybe help you with problems if you have them. Grandparents, can you take a moment to share in the chat something wise you'd like to share with your grandchildren? Here's an example. This is something I tell my grandchildren often. Kindness works. Usually if you approach people with kindness, you have a pretty good experience with them. So just take a moment, think of some little piece of advice. And also grandchildren, if you have some advice for your grandparents, you can put that in the chat too. We'll just take a moment to give you a chance to type it in. Ooh, learn something new every day. That's always good advice. Try new things. Yes. Always try to be in a good mood. That's all these things are great advice. Great advice. Do your best. That's great advice as well. Wow, this is really great ideas. Okay. So we have a new exhibit at the museum. It's called Clyfford Still, The Late Works. It sounds like, I know that he didn't do the paintings on time, but that's not actually what it means. It means that these paintings are all from a later part in his life when he was a father and grandfather, an older person. And so we can really notice lots of differences from the art he made at the beginning when he was a young man and the later works that he did. As Tricia told us, he changed entirely the way he was painting. And so we're going to take a look at that right now. We're going to take a look at this first one. This is a work, a pastel chalk on paper. And can you tell what's going on in this work? Anybody? Yes, Sophia.
The leaves are changing colors.
The leaves are changing colors. You're right. And what do you see that that makes you feel like there's still leaves on these trees besides the colors? Are there something else that you recognize as trees?
Because I see that when I see the stem, like it's covering parts of the stem.
Yes, so that seems to be like the trunks of the trees. There's even a tree that seems like it's lost all of its trees or all of its leaves already. So this, you can really recognize the trees in this painting and you can see what the painting is all about. When you look out the window, are you seeing the same kind of thing now? Trees changing colors? Yes? Okay, excellent. We're going to take a look now at something that Clyfford Still did a little later in his career. So you can see there's quite a difference between this painting and the one we just looked at. Clyfford did this one when he was about 60 years old. And so you can see it's very, very different. What are you noticing about this painting?
There's a lot of white. There's a lot of white.
There's a lot of white, so that's unpainted canvas. Why do you think an artist would make a large painting and leave a lot of the canvas unpainted? Why do you think an artist would do that?
Answer.
Remember, there's no right or
I don't
wrong.
know.
I don't know the answer to the question. I'm curious to know what you think about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, except that maybe it makes the colors all stand out, having that unpainted canvas around it. Maybe it makes the red brighter and the yellows and the green stand out more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What do you think's going on in this painting?
I think it's similar to the other painting. There's the autumn and the trees and the green. I think the leaves are still turning.
So for you, Saba, this looks like the autumn leaves. The
Yes.
colors are making you think of the autumn leaves. Great, great ideas. And you know, Tricia told us that at the beginning, Clyfford was painting what he saw, like the trees that we just saw before that we recognized. But then he changed his style to paint what he was feeling. He was painting what he felt. What feeling do you get from
What do
this
you think
painting?
he's feeling? What do you feel when you see that?
Any ideas?
I feel like
Louder.
I feel like the leaves are the world's getting filled with leaves.
Like the world's getting filled with leaves. Is that a happy feeling for you?
Yes.
I guess. Yeah, because I know in the chat, a lot of people said they like jumping leaves and raking leaves. So maybe that is a fun feeling. It is for me. I like that part of the fall, all those leaves. Any other thoughts about it? Any other thoughts? Okay. Well, I think we'll go next to our little video. We have a video that was taken inside the museum. And this is one gallery in our museum. And you can see the video will go round and round. So you can see there's only 4 paintings in the video. You get a little look at the rest of our museum while we're going around. The reason there are only 4 paintings is that these paintings are very, very large. So we're going to go all around this room once. And then when we go the second time, if there's a painting you especially want to see, tell us and we'll stop the video so we can take a closer look. If you haven't been to our museum, you probably are surprised at how large these paintings are. When you see them in person, they're really large. So this time, tell me if there's one you especially would like to see. Anyone have any ideas of something they'd really like to see?
I think they all look a little similar in their earthy. They've got the earth tones.
They
So they
do have-
remind me of nature and the earth. All of them do.
So that for you, the colors are really making you
Yes.
think of the earth tones, as you said. This one's interesting. It's got that red vertical line going up and down. Does anybody have a specific feeling when you look at this painting?
How do you feel?
Yes, Greg,
I feel like it's little gnome holes.
a little what?
Little gnome holes.
Little gnome holes?
Mhm.
Oh, excellent. That's such an interesting thing. Tell me a little more about that.
Where the king gnome is.
I see. So there's a story here. You're envisioning a story in this painting about gnomes. Is that right?
Mhm.
Excellent.
Yes.
Great
And
job.
Marilyn, we have in the chat that Eden thinks this is like lava.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, that could be like lava, couldn't it? That
Yeah.
red going up and down. How interesting. I never thought of it that way. So interesting. So many ideas. I love all these ideas. Anyone have anything more they want to say about this one before we move on? Okay, let's keep going around the room, see what else we can find. This one's interesting too. Again, as Saba said, lots of earth tones. Lots and lots of earth tones. Anyone have anything? Okay. Anyone want to say something about this one?
The orange feels. I feel like the orange is whitening. Is
Oh, the-
whitening.
So up at the top left, that sort of
Mhm.
orange color or red color, you feel like that's lightning striking.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. What about it makes you think of lightning?
Because the ziggity zag. I like how it looks like.
The
Looks
ziggity
like-
zag, I like the way you describe that because it does have a zigzag. Lots of jagged shapes that we see in Clifford's paintings when he was older. Excellent.
And it struck a gnome hole.
Another
A
gnome
gnome
hole.
fell in. I can see the little gnome.
These paintings are really giving you ideas for stories. Lots of stories. I'd like
We
to stop in
also-
front of this one. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say in the chat, Eden saying that the yellow could maybe be sunlight.
Oh,
Mhm.
sunlight. Wow, I hadn't thought of that either. It's such interesting ideas. The lightning and the sunlight. Wow. Anyone have anything else they want to say about this one before we move on? I think we have time just to talk about one more. And I hope we stop at this one because I really like this one. It's one of my favorites. What do you think? What's going on in this painting?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I think it's just interesting the way the shapes are kind of pointing down. Did someone have something they wanted to say? Yes. Or
Well,
maybe stretch.
it looks like lightning again. The power of suggestion of the previous people say it reminds me of lightning for sure.
It seems like things are moving in this painting, doesn't it? They're not still. There's something happening. We may not know what, but something big is going on here. For Saba, that's lightning. Anyone else have any thoughts about it?
It makes me think of an explosion.
An explosion. It does definitely look like something's exploding. I agree.
Sophia
you-
has a thought.
I'm sorry.
Sophia has a thought.
Oh, Sophia, tell us.
For me, it looks like all the colors are getting like sucked into the yellow and the red at the bottom.
So for you, the movement is the black is going towards the white and yellow part of the painting. It's moving towards, instead of exploding out, it's coming towards. More
Yeah.
like, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to think about the different movement of these shapes and where they're going. I think I like this thin red line too, that's kind of in the middle there, where we see that again, as we saw some red up and down lines, vertical lines in the other one. If you think this painting's confusing, tap your forehead. If you think this painting is exploding, be the explosion. Be the explosion. Good. If you think this painting is the wind, be the wind. Great. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like doing some movement. So I'm going to head over to Kiana and see what she has planned for us. Thanks so much. You did a great job looking. I heard so many things I've never seen before or heard about before. So whenever I look at those paintings, I'll remember what you said. Thanks for sharing with me.
Thanks, Marilyn. Namaste, my friends. My name is Kiana. We are now going to do a fun movement activity inspired by Clyfford Still's art. I want you to take another look at this drawing of autumn trees that Clyfford Still made. So we'll share that here in just a moment. When I say go, we are going to pretend that we are trees. You could pretend to be one of the trees in this drawing. You could pretend to be a favorite tree that you've seen before in real life. Or maybe you want to pretend to be a magical tree. Maybe it's a tree that you read about in a storybook or you've seen in a movie. When you know which tree you would like to be, put your thumb up like this. Excellent. Before we make our forest of all of us being trees, I'm wondering, what colors are your leaves? What do your branches look like? What shape is your tree? What is special about your tree? And how will you use your arms, your legs, your feet, hands, face, and maybe even your hair and your clothing to show us what your tree looks like? I want you to think about all those things. And now tell one of your family members or share in the chat how your tree looks or what you think about your tree. Oh, I see Eden starting to show us her tree. Ooh. When I count to 3, I want you to strike a pose and pretend that your body is a tree. Remember to use your body in a way that feels safe and comfortable to you, and be aware if there's anything around you, okay? All right, if you're ready, 1, we're gonna get ready to pose like a tree. 2, 3, pose like a tree. I see your trees. Ooh, we got some awesome trees. I love how you're using your bodies to create your trees. Now, we're going to play a game called Dancing Trees. So I'm going to play 1 to 2 minutes of different songs to dance to. And when you hear the music, you will use your body to be a dancing tree. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Maybe you'll sway back and forth with your branches. Maybe you'll wiggle. Maybe your tree will look like a human just dancing. You could dance by yourself, or you could dance with a family member, Or maybe you want to copy the movement that you see. Like every time I see Eden and Drake moving, I kind of want to do the same movements that I see them doing. So whatever you do, this is just about having fun. When the music stops, you're going to freeze in place and be still. And then when you hear the music again, you'll begin dancing. So each time you hear a new clip of music, I want you to explore moving your body in new and different ways. Beautiful. You are some amazing dancers. Round of applause for everybody. Oh, thank you for sharing all your dance moves and energy with us. I don't know about you, but that made me feel so happy. Tell us in the chat how you're feeling. Or feel free to share out loud. Oh, I see that Eden saying that was fun. Want to dance like Saba. Sophia's feeling happy. Excellent. Now take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth slowly. And I want you to imagine that all your leaves are falling off your tree because it's autumn. So let's see our leaves slowly fall off the tree. And I want you to think about, how do you feel about the leaves coming off your tree? Do you miss them? Maybe you feel happy because they tickle or itched. Maybe you feel a little cold because you don't have the leaves. Maybe you feel a little sad that the leaves came off. But I want you to remember that your leaves will come back in the springtime and it'll make you happy again. So thank you so much for sharing your dance moves and your positive energy with me. You're all amazing dancers. Another big round of applause for all of you. And then I would like to hand it over to my wonderful friend, Corey.
Thank you, Kiana. Hi, everyone. I hope that you're having fun today. I know that I am, and it was great to see you all dance. You are great dancers. So now that we've gotten our wiggles out a little bit, we're going to make some artwork. And today we're going to be making some aspen trees with paper. And I thought this would be fun to do because even though some of you might be joining us from places outside of Colorado, aspens are some of the most beautiful trees that change color this time of year. So the first thing you need to get after we go through the instructions are your supplies. And the basic supplies you need are paper, tape or glue, and if your paper isn't colored, something to color it with, like colored pencils or crayons or markers or anything you'd like to use. And if you don't have any plain or colored paper, you could also use recycled magazines or newspapers or even junk mail. You can be creative with whatever you have at home. The first step is to lay down your background paper lengthwise on a surface. If you want the background to be blue like the sky, for example, you can use either a blue piece of paper or quickly color the paper blue. So you can see on the screen there that you want it to be the long ways so that it looks like a landscape. Then you want to cut or tear out long tree trunk shapes, like you see on the screen, and tape or glue them to the background paper. To make the trunks look like aspen trees, you're going to either tear or cut out black paper to put spots on the trunks, or you can color the spots on the trunks using those colored pencils or crayons or markers. You'll also want to add branches in the same color as the spots on the trunk. So it'll look like that when you're done adding those spots. Once the trunks and branches are finished, it's time to make the leaves. So you're either going to cut or tear out a variety of leaf shapes. And if you're not using colored paper, you're going to want to color those leaves different colors, different fall colors, like yellow and brown and orange and red. And then finally, once you're done making the leaves, you'll want to tape or glue them to the tree branches. And I wanted to show you this picture because when I was making my aspen tree, I had a little helper and my cat was trying to play with my leaves. So maybe you have an animal friend who likes to get in the middle of your art projects too. Once you're done making the leaves, again, you'll put them on the paper, and then at the end, it'll look like this. You might also want to tape or glue the leaves close to the bottom of the paper, because we know that during fall time, the leaves are changing because they're dying and then they fall to the ground. So, oh, excuse me. So you might want to put some of the leaves, not just on the tree, but on the ground as well. Another fun thing you might want to do with this project is grandparents. We were talking during Marilyn's activity about thinking of advice that you might give to your grandkids. If you want to write little pieces of those things that you were thinking of, those pieces of advice on the leaves, you could then give that artwork to your grandchild or send it to them in the mail, and it could be something that they keep. All right, we have some busy bees working away.
Working hard.
And I wanted to thank you all for spending your time with us today. I hope it was nice to spend some time with your families in person, but also over Zoom. And I know that we really enjoyed having you here, so we hope that you did enjoy your time as well. So be sure to talk with your family about your favorite thing that you did on the tour here today. Think about some connections that you made between the fall season and the artwork you're creating. So thank you so much for coming. I hope that you enjoy finishing your artworks and hope you have a great weekend.